Hi, everyone. Jason here from Camps with Friends. I'm very excited to talk to founder and director Peter Corbin from Corbin's Crusaders, a after-school sports program. Peter, why don't you sort of give us a few pointers as to who you are, what you do, and why you do it?
Sure. I run Corbin's Crusaders Sports Club in New York City and in Westchester and parts of Connecticut. Um, we have been operating for 29 years. I started the company back then really because I wanted to make sure that the kids in New York City had an opportunity to get out there and learn the sports and foster the love of the game, that they're playing and really have a great time after school every single day that we have the program.
That's great. Do you have a background in sports? Is that sort of what you brought you into this, or is it education, or what was it that led you to founding Coleman's Crusaders?
It's a combination. I have a degree in counseling psychology, a master's degree from Columbia. But I've always played sports. Growing up, I was a, you know, varsity athlete in three different sports, and I played a little bit of college sports. Uh, but I've always found that to me, sports is the best way for kids and really anybody, adults as well, to socialize and get comfortable with their surroundings and get to know people around them.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Let's talk a little bit about where you operate. Do you have a facility? Do you rent spaces? Do you go to parks? Like where do you operate?
So the main programs in New York City, and a lot of our programs are in Central Park and Carl Schurz Park, Riverside Parks. We use Randall's Island as well. We do rent out gyms that we use for inclement weather and in the wintertime as well. So we're pretty much all over. We also work within various schools in the city using their gyms and their fields and courts as well.
Okay, great. How do the kids that are coming to your program, are they typically just coming from the school and then parents are dropping them off at one of these parks, or is it buses, or how does that work?
We actually have different versions. So we have some programs where we do bus kids from their schools to the parks that we play in, um, instruct them for, run programs for about an hour to an hour and a half, and then bring them home door to door. We
Okay.
also have programs where kids will meet us in the park, and we'll run a program that for them in the park, and then they get picked up there. We also have programs where we pick kids up from their school, walk them to the park, play there, and then they get picked up afterwards. So we kind of do it all. We have a combination of all of that.
What sort of age groups are you catering to, Peter?
So we start as young as 3 years old. We do have some nursery age kids sports programs, intro to sports, mostly for that age group. And then we typically cater to kids all the way up to seventh or eighth grade, depending on the interest. And we've honestly had kids in high school have come to us that we've had in the past saying, "Hey, we'd also be interested in getting our kids ready for varsity sports." So we've done kind of all levels. We have most of our staff have been working for us for years, and many of them have played at a high level, but are amazing at teaching kids the basics as well.
Right. So you're doing sort of beginner, intermediate, and advanced sort of levels.
Exactly. Yes.
Great. And then what sort of sports are we talking about here?
So we've done them all. We do what we are very popular with us. We do a lot of flag football. We do a lot of soccer. We do some baseball, volleyball. We do basketball, softball. We even do fencing. We have a little bit out of the
Oh,
box. We run a fencing program. We've got we've done some tennis programs. So we've really done a lot of different sports. But obviously we love the basics. We're very popular with us. Baseball, basketball, football, soccer. We kind of do a lot of that.
yeah. And then any famous kids that have come through your program?
we have had some kids. We've been around 29 years, so we've had a
Yeah,
lot of famous families that have come through the program. But the best part about that is that their parents, or they may have become gotten famous after they left us, or their parents who were famous when they were with us. But when they're playing sports, it's just fun.
yeah, yeah. Um, let's talk a little bit about sort of the emotional sides of sports, how important it is for kids these days. Probably more important for sort of inner city kids who this is potentially one, a very positive influence on their lives, right? How important is that, a part of what you do? And let's maybe you just chat a little bit about what the sort of benefits are for kids.
Yeah, I mean, I think the most important factor for kids at school is confidence, and self-confidence, and the ability to you know attack whatever it is you're attacking, and do it as well as you can do it. And I think
Yeah,
sports in general really help with that. But if you have the ability to if you have the chance to see yourself improve, and if you have coaches, really good coaches, that are pointing that out to you, you know the first time you make a good move, or a crossover in basketball, or you make your first shot in a soccer game, or you get your first hit in a baseball game, or you put the ball over the plate when you're pitching for the first time. These things, that
yeah,
when coaches are pointing these things out and you're really seeing progress, it makes for um, honestly progress in life. It really helps kids grow, and see that they can accomplish things, with effort, if they put it into them. They put
yeah,
that effort in there.
yeah. Yep, that's really great. And then so just sort of touching on oh yeah, are are these kids playing in some sort of a competitive league, or is it just practices or coaching, or what, how does that
So,
kind of?
our typical day for us, it starts. We do something called skills, drills, and thrills. So, if they're doing a particular sport, let's say they're doing, basketball, and they get in the gym. We do some sort of a quick warm up, and then we work on a couple of different skills. Today, we're going to
Mhm.
work on, you know, dribbling and passing, and we break down how to properly pass the ball, how to put your fingers on the ball, snap it out of your hands to your partner. We work on a couple of different passes, and after that, maybe we work on some dribbling skills, and ball handling, to make sure they can understand that. And then the drills that they do for us, they're more game like. They don't necessarily even know they're doing drills,
Mhm.
that you think of as drills. And then once they get to the end, about halfway through or three-quarters through the day, we do a thrill, which is some sort of a game. It may or may not be a 5-on-5 game, but whatever game we play, we want to make sure that they see that they're actually get to see themselves improving. So, hey, we worked on passing and dribbling today, and if you make a shot after two passes, that's going to be worth double the shots. And we
Yeah.
really see that you're improving based on what you worked on this afternoon.
Okay. Okay. So there's no actual sports leagues, anything that they're.
We have been involved in sports leagues in the past, but for us, it's more about developing it, and fostering the love of the game.
Okay. Okay. And then let's touch quickly again. You said New York, parts of Connecticut, Westchester, right? And you also mentioned a few of the locations. Um, if parents are, would it be parents in Connecticut, parents in New York, parents in Westchester? That's sort of your target market here, or is there people coming in from outside of those areas as well?
No, it's mostly parents from New York City. We have programs in Manhattan and in Brooklyn. We have uh, some programming up in Westchester and in Fairfield counties as well.
Okay.
Because we have an office up in Rybrook, New York.
Okay.
So it's right on the border of Connecticut. So between those are the three areas basically. But Manhattan is really the bulk of our clientele.
And you said you've been around for 29 years. How many kids, kind of ballpark, would you say are enrolled in your after school programs?
So well, this fall, for example, we have close to 500 kids enrolled a week.
Uh-huh.
We're we're busy with them. It keeps us going.
Yeah.
And it's we not every day, of course, but most kids sign up once a week. But I do have a lot of kids, that also come 2 to 3 times a week because they just love it.
Yeah, yeah. And then coaching staff, what's that number look like? Or
We have
administrative staff, coaching staff?
Yeah, I mean, we have a administration of 3 people. We have operations, and we have one person who does HR, and both of them have been with us for over 20, actually for the whole thing, basically
Yeah.
29 years. And then we've got most of our coaches are have had some pretty high level experience playing. We have probably about 25 or so coaches that work for us, and
Okay.
many of them have been with us for 10 years or more. We do get, of course, new coaches every year, but we make sure that they've got not just the skills to play, but the skills to coach. Anybody can play a game of sports, but not everybody can work with children, and it's really important that they meet our standards, and that they are really good at working with kids, and they go through our training program as well to make sure that they can handle it.
Yeah, that's really good. Peter, where if a parent is watching this on YouTube or on social media, or they're reading my blog, where can those parents find you? How can they reach out to you?
If they go to corbinscrusaders.com, that's the easiest way to get in touch with us. You can reach out through the website, and they're welcome to come. You can sign a kid up, and they can potentially try out a program. I mean, typically parents contact us, and they, sometimes they want to set up programs for their kids, and I usually will just say we just need a minimum of 10 kids, and we could run a program almost any day for you.
That's great. That's great. Awesome. Peter, it's been awesome talking to you, learning a little bit more about your off the school program, Corbin's Crusaders. Thank you so much for joining me. Any famous last words?
No, I mean, I think, one thing, well, I guess one thing I would say that I haven't mentioned before is that I've spent 25 summers working at a sleepaway camp, Robin Hood in New Hampshire, and we we have a very similar philosophy to the way we run things up at Robin Hood. And I do continue to work there up in the summer as a head of boys camp, and my wife is the head of girls camp. So I feel like there's definitely some crossover between the philosophies, and obviously we have a lot of the kids that come to both programs, and I feel like that's an important thing to say.
Awesome. Great little shout out there to Camp Robin Hood. Go check out their website. I'm guessing it's
camprobinhood.com.
camprobinhood.com. Excellent. All right, Peter, thank you very much. I'm going to hit stop, and then we'll wrap up after that.
Thanks for having me.